morning, Joe. Joe said he's prepared. He's prepared with a smile.
Got my smile
Good transition
on.
this morning. You got your smile on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Everybody looks excited. Bobby, you still look like you're asleep. Are you all right? Okay. All right. So, if you want to win, you got to get up early, get there early, and stay there late. Do you get that?
You got to have the winner's attitude.
Go early, stay late in everything. Do you do that, Pat? What?
Almost like first
You're
in,
not-
last out.
Yeah. Show up early, stay late. That's what I want to start with. So let's read the quote. Let's read the quote for today. What is this quote? I'm not putting my glasses on yet. I'm just telling you. I'm not
A
doing
mind,
that. Go ahead.
a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions.
Ooh.
Oliver Wendell Holmes.
Man,
Wonder if
I
it's
like
related to
that
Sherlock.
one. What's that? What'd you say, Joe?
I wonder if this guy's related to Sherlock.
It's Sherlock's brother. You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, you did.
I know now.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's say good morning to a couple people. Good morning, Chris. Griff, what's up? Good morning. Jerry, good morning. Chadwick, what's up, man? Crystal, good morning. So, Crystal, yeah, Chris is a top fan forever. You are, buddy. Next week you're on stage on Wednesday. So, be ready. Let's rock and roll. So, what about all of you that are on here? Did you do your homework last week? Do you remember what the homework was for these people while we were going on break?
It was some-
What's your idea of success?
That's it. See, go ahead. Kevin raised his hand, and Griff Griff, I called you Griff.
Don't ever do that.
So, Griff, good morning. I hope you're as active today as you were yesterday on the show here this morning. Corey, good morning, buddy. Good morning. So, yeah, show up early, stay late if you want to be a winner. Man, allergies are crushing me, like bad. But we're going to get through it. Today I want to talk about something. I want to talk about your homework. Did you do your homework? What is your definition of success? And share it. Put it up there in the comments. If you didn't do your homework, type a 3 that you did not do your homework and accept the fact that you made a mistake to be able to fix it. I guess the topic this morning isn't just about like what gosh, that laugh. Yeah, you're right, Chadwick. That laugh is a little cynical at times. What are your default settings? So you guys, who here knows what default settings are? Like, what's a default setting?
It's-
Typically, you got to talk into the mic, Joe.
I'm just thinking.
Oh, you are? You're talking and thinking?
Anger,
No.
pop up.
Okay. That's a good one to say, but like, what is the true meaning of a default setting? So a default setting on a computer decides how the computer performs in a certain situation, right? You can set your default settings on your computer or your phone to perform a certain way. It helps with productivity. It helps with. Go ahead, Pat. Yell it out. Huh? Passive. Yours is passive? You're going ahead of where we're at so far. I'm trying to explain what the word is, okay? So default settings for people, like Pat just jumped in and said, and I love it, is, Chris jumped in here, definition of success, being of service to others. Absolutely. Griff, I hope you have that treadmill mentality. I love it, baby. So a default setting can be in your attitude of a positive default, right? Or a negative, either a pessimistic attitude or an optimistic attitude. Your default setting is passive. I like that you said that. Who else wants to jump in here? Go ahead. Say it again now.
Anger.
Okay, so that was a big one for me too. I just talked to my son yesterday about this. That my default it was in everything was to use. If I was scared, I was angry. If I was pissed, I was angry. If I was happy, I found something to be angry about. I wanted that default to always be there and to be like shown in my life. What's your default, Clint? What's your default?
I would just say selfish, because everything that, like, miserable, goes into just me not getting what I want. So.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's big. Okay. So default in. How about in stress? Who wants to talk about default? What's your hands in the bow? Here's the mic.
I'd say mine was blame.
Okay. So
Blame.
so think about that, people. This is a big one. What is your default in a stressful situation? Like, this is really, really, really important. Okay. Tell me what your default is, Joe. What's your default in a stressful situation?
Well, it's that puffy chest. It's, anger, I guess. Or
Okay.
um,
Why?
Why? You get to control the situation.
Yeah.
You try to control the situation.
Yeah. Awesome. How about you, Jake?
Somebody else will figure this out for me. So like, take my hands off.
Yep. Hands off the wheel. Here we go. Who else? One other person. Come on. Give that mic to Jesse. Give it mic to Jesse, the racer.
For me, with stress, it'd be blaming others or just wanting to completely quit and shut down.
Shut down. So that's really important for this room, that we recognize what our default is. 'Cause who else here has the shutdown default? Like when things get stressful and they get hard and difficult. So what do you want it to be? Let's talk about the solution now. What do you want your default to be, Jesse? Like in stressful, painful, or tough situations, what do you want it to be?
In those situations, I want to be able to stand up tall, and just get to the solution and just keep moving forward.
Okay. I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
How
I'm
about you?
thinking more like proactive. Okay, this is the problem. This is what I have to do to fix it. So let's go. Let's fix it. Let's move on. Like Jesse said, move forward. Let's go.
Right on.
Instead of that puff up, angry, and an explosion, and act under pressure. Be proactive.
Give him
and
a
handle
call.
it.
Right on.
You know?
I agree. It's Tim Moyer calling my phone. Can you give him a call? I'm sure it's about something with work. Yeah, our default setting is something that takes time to create. Griff, I would like you to explain. Control isn't easy, but what? Talk to me about control. Like, explain, guys. What I like. You've had Chadwick says I've had the shutdown mentality, the shutdown mindset in default when it's stressful situations. Griff, tell me about that control. What's behind that control? Like, your default is control, but how? Is it manipulative control? Is it angry control? They're both manipulative, but talk to me about that a little bit more. I want my default to be immediately go to prayer before getting anxious. That's great. That's great, Jerry. That's perfect. So we have to train for our default, don't we? Like we really have to practice a new default, because my default again was anger to control, and then use it to manipulate everybody in the room, intimidation to get control because of my fear. Like, I intimidated and I was because I was scared, and that's the important part of figuring out that default is what's behind it. Yes, it was control for me and it was anger for me, but the truth of it is that I was absolutely scared to death to get hurt or to be taken advantage of, or and that's what I needed to work through, and that's where all of you need to get to. Is it's easy to say, this is my default, but how are we going to get to the core of it? How can you get to the core of it to be able to deal with life in a different way, have a different default, a different mindset? To me, default means mindset in a person.
Yeah.
What's your default? What's your mindset and everything? Is it going to be fight or flight? Is it going to be embrace, like we talked about yesterday, TJ, start embracing the pain, embracing the tough situations, embracing the adversity? Or are you going to immediately say, I don't like this? That's a default. That's a good example of what we all heard in games last night, where you said, I don't like what I'm hearing. So that's the default. You know what I'm saying? So now we got to practice a whole new way to handle life and to handle situations that we used to look at as negative and look at them in a positive way. How are you going to do that, Clint? How will you, any of you, be able to deal with this situation of creating a new default?
Take the time, when it happens. Take the time, process, talk about it if you have to.
Okay.
I keep thinking of my default always comes out of reaction. And I'm thinking along the lines of like unpreparedness. I was always unprepared for some of these things that have happened. So my new default is like, hey, is get prepared, be prepared, do the work, do what's needed, do what's necessary.
Okay.
Like Clint just said, do the work.
Okay.
Be prepared for life,
Right on.
all of life, every part of it.
That's it. And so if we do that proactive work in the morning routine, that's going to help our new default,
Exactly.
correct? That's going to help our new mindset. We'd be proactive about the things that we, for me, creating a new default has to do with one word, thankful. If I can be thankful in every situation, my default is going to change. I hope you all hear that. Creating a new default means that you are going to be thankful in all that you do. In everything that hits you, you're thankful for it. There's training in it. There's a lesson in it. There's some type of message in what's going on. I'm going to turn this absolute mess into a message. That's a default. That's a new way of looking at things. Now you got to every day you got to do the work to make it happen. Thanks, Bo. Sorry about that. You got to really do the work to make to get to that. So getting to that core part, getting to that core part means what? What did we talk about last night with TJ? Admitting the problem, like looking at the problem, and not some of us really need to spend a couple minutes saying, okay, this is the truth of the mistake I made. Like here's what I do. Here's me. Here's my problem, and that's tough for people. So recognizing what your default is right now is a big part of getting to a new default. Because if all you focus on is the new default and you don't get rid of the old default, like you're gonna really struggle, and you're not gonna allow yourself the ability to get from point A to point B.
You can't just focus on the end goal. You need to focus
Nope.
on right now.
Nope.
The
Nope.
parts of it.
I can't go forward without first looking back.
Yeah.
I have to take care of the past issues, whether it's pain, whether it's a mindset, whether it's an attitude. I have to recognize the truth, and I hope y'all are getting this. Like, this is big today. That is a big piece for a lot of people, where they don't want to admit the truth of where they're at because they really, usually it comes down to having an issue with yourself. You don't like to look in the mirror. You don't want to admit the truth. And that's the only way you're going to be able to move forward. Jerry says, this is great stuff. I absolutely love this. I missed it yesterday. Great guys there. Thanks, Jerry. Danielle says, you are all lucky you're men, because if you were women and had to go through menopause.
Oh, man.
Jake's like smiling. With hormonal issues, you'd all have to reset your default on a daily basis. I understand that. I don't understand it, but I'm going to have some compassion and tell you that.
Women are stronger than men.
Yes, they are, for sure. Because I don't want to get in trouble with any of them that are going through
not
menopause.
worthy.
Yeah, we're not worthy. Ashley says, I like this session today. It's so easy to just fly off into anger. I had the fight or flight reaction to everything. If the relationship was rocky, run. If the work was hard, run. Total avoidance and blaming others. Amen. And that's that all or nothing attitude that we've had. It's just all black and white, no gray area. And we gotta figure out a new way to deal with life in a holistic way. I've been using that word lately. That holistic approach to this is really, really important. But for me, the start is being thankful. Like it's something that I had to practice. I had to practice that when things were really, really, really difficult for me in many ways. I think I handled this best. I think I learned it in Delaware. Is being with a guy like Tim, but also, just he was always like telling me, like, if I was upset about something, like if I didn't have enough money to get home to my kids that weekend, he would be like, oh man, poor you. I had a minivan then. Okay, it was an awesome minivan, by the way. You have a van, you have a house, you have food on the table. You're not getting what you want this weekend. You have no reason to be thankful. And I'd be like, wanted to stat. And so, like, going through those situations of tough times and practicing and having somebody by my side that could keep me pointed in a thankful direction. And all that is you guys just being a team with it. Like, when one's down, Bo's down, and being like ungrateful, it's Clint saying, hey man, like, look at what you do have. Like, let's talk about this stuff. And all of a sudden that default starts to change. And once it's in there, here's the great part. I feel like once it's in there and the old default is unlearned and the new one's in there and you're learning to have a new mindset, it's there. It's like where's Jesse and TJ? It's like when somebody has good form and they're a racer, you know what I mean? Like you look at Ricky being off of a bike for how long? You know, he could have been off the bike for years and years, and he was. You know, but his default is a certain style of ride. His default was being safe, being good on a bike. That way you put him back on a bike and he looks amazing and he rides amazing and that carries through in everything. You guys must set up a new default. Go ahead, buddy. I know you have something to say.
Well, it's like what you're saying right now and what we're talking about ties into the quote that we read this morning too. Like once we practice that and have that experience and change our brain in that way, you know, it's going to stick there. It's going to stay there. It's not going to go back to the old ways.
That's it. So Griff says my strength is my support, so I want my default to be that. A struggle shared is half the struggle, and joy shared is twice the joy. Amen, Griff. That's an awesome way to say it. You know, Chadwick, passionate. That's right, man. Griff is always a passionate dude. So when stress hits, allow yourself the time to practice a new way. Recognize the old way and allow yourself enough time to practice a new way. So let's get to the book here. Did everybody hit who hit the snooze button this morning? Come on, somebody be honest. Who did it? TJ is the only honest one in the room today. Okay. Connor is also an honest one. A 360 van just pulled up outside. So yeah, I try not to hit that snooze or loser button. You're starting your day ungrateful, like because you got to wake up, you got to get going here. There were days that I opened my eyes where I still wasn't awake. You know what I mean? So I get to be present today. No phone, no scrolling. First thing, Chadwick did not hit the snooze button this morning. I like that. No snooze ever for Jerry. I like it. And make sure you move around a little bit, man. I'll tell you, like. I noticed something yesterday after I did this hike and we ran the hills a couple times and I ran hills. I was clearer yesterday after 25 minutes of working out in my head, and what I noticed is my watch was going off. This is wild, and I could see better after working out. How weird is that? Like I could literally I can't do anything without these things with close up, but I could see better. Like I was clearer. So move around. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
How are you?
I'm awesome. We're live right now on Facebook. Do you have anything to say?
Feels good to have the second round of the Pfizer vaccine.
He said it feels good to have the second round of the Pfizer vaccine. I love it. So yeah, move around a little bit this morning. Get some exercise to get your day going. That's something I've been really, really focused on over the last couple months is getting a little bit of exercise. You know, like 3 times a week. I'd like to get to 5, but I'm at 3, and I'm not going to push myself. I'm not going to get crazy on myself. I'm not going to get extreme, and I'm just like.
Not gonna get ice cream.
I'm not going to get ice cream. I do on the weekends, you know, and for me, that stuff is figuring out not an extreme thing to do because I can do those things, but just a lifestyle change a little bit, you know, eating more proteins and allowing myself to eat the proteins and having fun like we did this weekend and trying to stay away from the bad stuff. You know, you guys don't recognize it, but you all ate keto in that awesome meal. You had a salad and you had the meat. Or Clint, did you have some macaroni salad? Is that what you did? Did I see any of that?
I like
lot of
it.
macaroni
Talking about
salad.
you did not get into
He's the one
ketosis.
who opened them. I see macaroni salad.
So yeah, it's important to move around. But another big one here is taking a couple minutes at the end of this to process what's going on. We made a new rule here that at the end of every day we process what's going on before we run out the door. Okay. Everybody's got. We're going to talk more about the process thing because we're almost out of time this morning. But then write those 5 things you're thankful for in your book or on your paper, and then remember a second. Remember feeling thankful for something. That's the second part of this. Not just writing what you're thankful for, but feeling thankful for. Look back at your life and remember a part of your life that you can remember feeling thankful. Like that is big, and it's really, really important. I want to hear. So who's got one? Who's got one? Who remember? What did you write down this morning for remember feeling thankful?
I wrote down going hunting with my Uncle Barry and shooting my first buck.
There you go. So you remember that feeling. Like you start your day with thankful. It's the most powerful feeling, I think, is being thankful. So then get your daily schedule written. Mine's like packed today, so I had to do a lot of transfer back and forth in the morning. There's a lot going on. A lot of mine's adjusting because Krista has a test to go to today to like a pre-op test. So I gotta juggle some things around, but I keep this stuff in front of me. Do me a favor, y'all. If you're in some type of group, Chris, with your people up in Pottsville, like Chris is like the mayor of recovery in Pottsville. He's going to speak here next week. You guys remember Big Chris Smith from up in Pottsville? He is going to be here speaking next week. But share this out to people. Like, let's get more people on this show in the morning to get up early to win at life. Like those that need this are those that are early recovery. Create a new default. Come on in, man. Create something that says I'm going to show up early and I'm going to stay late to win. Murph is in the house. Say hi to Murph, everybody. Let's clap it up for Murph. Hey, Murph. Murph's here. So yeah, we need to create that new default. Kayla's here, everybody. Let's give a big round of applause for Kayla. She doesn't want to come near the camera whatsoever. She just stayed over there.
That's not my name.
So yeah. Y'all create a new default. It's going to take some proactive behavior. It's going to take getting up in the morning. Share this out to those that need it. If you know somebody that's struggling out there, get them on the show in the morning. Get them involved. Get them headed in a new direction where it's proactivity in life and not reaction. And let's change that default, change the mindset to something that's positive, that's going to help you grow to the person you're intended to be. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to get things started. We have a breakfast here this morning. Every Wednesday, if you're in the Wyomissing area or Berks County or wherever, and you want to come to breakfast, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. we serve breakfast. So get your butts over here. These guys cook a good breakfast. It's all farm fresh eggs, and you better get here before Bo and Clint get here, okay, because they're going to eat it all. All right, y'all. We love you. We love you so much.
Later.
And make sure whatever you do today, you do it with soul. Later.